Most people pick their SEO keywords backwards. Google already knows what your pages should rank for, and it's even telling you if you know where to look. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly where to find these keywords, how to interpret the data, and how to turn it into a clear SEO optimized title, description, and target keyword that will unleash a flood of new traffic to your existing web pages. And this is the same process that I've honed optimizing hundreds of pages over 10 years at Hog the Web. So let's jump into it. First, I'll show you a real world example of how we applied this on our own website to get a continuous stream of new leads coming to our business. So about a year ago, we published this article on our blog, How to Quickly Check a Website's Last Update. Right now, you're looking at the original version as it was back in March of this year using the Wayback machine, which is a really useful tool from the Internet Archive if you're not aware of that. It's a basic guide that walks the user through the manual process of figuring out when a web page was last updated. And then more recently, I was going through our site analytics and noticed that this article wasn't performing as good as it should. So first thing, I jumped into our Google Search Console. If you don't have Google Search Console set up for your site yet, it's a free analytics tool that you can set up for any website. Just requires you to verify your ownership of the domain. Once you're in the dashboard, go to Performance, scroll down to Pages, and this is where you can choose which page that you want to optimize. So for example, in this case, I'll click on the URL for that article, and now it's going to filter the details for just that specific page. You can see up at the top, it's added this filter for the exact URL right there. And then if I scroll down, this is the part where we're starting to get really useful information, seeing top queries that people type into Google that this web page either shows up in search results for or actually gets clicks for. I'm going to just quickly expand the time to a full year. And right away, you can see the story in one quick chart here. By implementing the strategy I'm about to show you, we went from hardly any clicks to hundreds of clicks. And I know the numbers look small, but remember that there's other search engines and other ways that people can find these pages. So this isn't the total traffic the pages are getting. And on the new version of the page, we added a free website update checker tool, and we're getting several new leads into our mailing list per day from this tool. So when I scroll down here on the Queries tab, we can see all these different search queries the website is showing up for. And just as a reminder, an impression right here just means that web page showed up in Google search results. So as you can see in the AI overview citation, our article is being cited. So that right there is an impression without even clicking on it. And then a click would be when someone actually clicks from that search and actually visits the web page. So we can see there's just all sorts of variations on how this question is written that people are searching. And the number of impressions gives us a sense of what Google thinks that this page is actually about and should rank for. Now, take a look here. The original version of the article, the title was simply How to Quickly Check a Website's Last Update. Wasn't performing well at all. And actually, the one with the highest impressions is How to Check when a Website was last updated. So in the new version, you can see that we changed it to How to Check when a Website was last updated. The closer that you can word your phrasing to match what the user is searching, the more likely they are to click on your link compared to all these other ones. Now, you might put these keywords into a keyword tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs, and it might tell you that this other keyword has more search volume. See, this is where this strategy is way better than using those just generic numbers and generic tools. This is data that you're getting directly from Google that's showing you what keywords it wants to rank your page for. All you have to do is find the best opportunity, the one that's getting maybe the most impressions, but is also the most aligned with what you're offering on the page. And if you get all that lined up, then boom, Google's going to bring your rankings way up. Look at that. It started hovering around position 12. Now it's up near position 2 or 3, right up near the top where it's going to get the most clicks. All right, so that's one example where we implemented the strategy, saw the results, and then turned that into actual leads for our business. Now let me show you another example. Let's say you're just landing in your Google Search Console and you go to pages, and look, you notice that there's a certain page here that is getting a huge number of impressions, but the clicks is way lower, maybe 1%. I mean, compare it to the one above. The click-through rate of the shopping guide is 10%. So the page is well optimized for what people are searching for. But if the click-through rate is low, like 0.5%, there's a lot of opportunity there to capture a bigger chunk of that traffic by better optimizing the page, specifically the SEO title and meta description, and optimizing it for the most common search query that matches the intent of the page. Now, what I'm going to do first is click on this open in a new tab link so that I can actually view the page here. And then I'm going to click on the link so it adds that URL as the filter. Now, Google already knows to rank you for your brand name. What we're trying to do with SEO usually is get our brand in front of a new audience who doesn't know our brand yet. And by visiting the content and providing them something useful, then that's a new sort of doorway into the business and into the brand ecosystem. Let's look here. Okay, so here's the page. It's a blog article, and the title is Health Benefits of Cacao. There's not even a meta description entered here, so this page really hasn't been optimized for SEO, yet it's getting tons of impressions. So as we scroll down, I'm looking for things that have high impressions. The current title says cacao, but it doesn't talk about stem cells, and yet that's getting the most clicks and impressions. Look, this is a clear sign that what Google thinks this page is about is not matching what the publisher put in as the title of the article or the page. So this is a huge opportunity to basically use the advice that Google is screaming at us here and optimize the search appearance of this link to better fit the traffic that Google's trying to send it. Best cacao for stem cells. Cacao and stem cells. I would try best cacao for stem cells. I'm going to do that search really quick. Now, it does give us products and sponsored links that you're competing with. Because this is a blog article, it's probably not going to rank well for this keyword because Google has decided that the intention of users doing this search is looking more for products. Let's try something different. Let's try cacao and stem cells. Here we go. Yeah, Mark Hyman, that's like a very similar brand. All these other ones that are very similar, like cacao stem cells, cacao and stem cells and cacao stem cell study. By including that stem cell topic in the title, it's not just going to rank for that keyword. We're going to see the performance, the traffic improve for that whole cluster of keywords, a dozen or more similar keywords. Okay, so finally, just some quick rules of thumb. When doing the SEO title, look at what the competitors are saying. Does dark chocolate increase stem cell production? Can chocolate regenerate stem cells? So this is where you got to put on your sort of marketing brain. Does cacao improve stem cell function? Benefits of cacao for your stem cells. Maybe a good one would be, can cacao regenerate stem cells? What the research says. Something like that. Let's see. Stem cells. Cacao has been shown to improve stem cell function. If we really make the title focused on this stem cell topic, but then the article just mentions it once, then again, the content isn't really delivering what the searcher is looking for, what their intent is, their search intent. So ways you could fix that, you could bring some of this stem cell topic and incorporate it more into the intro, or you could use this as a clue to write a whole new article that focuses more on the cacao and stem cell topic and then target those keywords. Because your site's already performing well for this topic, it's likely that a new article that's highly optimized for that specific topic is going to get lots of traffic. And then in the meta description, I find it most effective to actually just start including the answer. For example, studies suggest that flavanol-rich cacao consumption can increase levels of circulating per cell, If I'm looking for that information and I see that preview text, I'm much more likely to want to click on that and get more of that information and include that target keyword or query in your meta description. The closer to the front, the better. The reason for that is because, as you see here, any of the words the person searched for show up as bold in the meta description. It's just a little thing to catch people's eye, and it's going to increase that click-through rate. You're going to get more clicks, more traffic, and reach a whole new audience. And that's really all there is to it. No guesswork, no chasing random keyword lists. just using the signals Google already provides. Try this on a couple of your pages and see how quickly things improve. If you got any questions about any of this, feel free to drop them in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.